Hello student, this is Vaibhavi, your teacher, and today we are going to learn about North American Free Trade Agreement, that is NAFTA. Its implementation of the North American Free Trade Agreement began on January 1st, 1994. This agreement will remove most barriers to trade and investment among the United States, Canada and Mexico. Under the NAFTA, all non-tariff barriers to agriculture trade between the United States and Mexico were eliminated. In addition, many tariffs were eliminated immediately, with others being phased out over periods of 5 to 15 years. This allowed for an orderly adjustment to free trade with Mexico, with full implementation beginning January 1st, 2008. The agriculture provision of the US-Canada Free Trade Agreement, in effect since 1989, were incorporated into NAFTA. Under these provisions, all tariffs affecting agriculture trade between the United States and Canada, with a few expectations for items covered by tariff rate quotas, were removed by January 1st, 1998. Mexico and Canada reached a separate bilateral NAFTA agreement on market access for agricultural products. The Mexican-Canadian agreement eliminated most tariffs either immediately or over 5, 10 or 15 years. Tariffs between the two countries affecting trade in dairy, poultry, eggs and sugar are maintained. Provisions. The goal of NAFTA was to eliminate barriers to trade and investment between the USA, Canada and Mexico. The implementation of NAFTA on January 1st, 1994 brought the immediate elimination of tariffs on more than one half of US imports from Mexico and more than one third of US exports to Mexico. Within 10 years of the implementation of the agreement and US-Mexico tariffs would be eliminated except for some US agriculture exports to Mexico that were to be phased out in 15 years. Most US-Canada trade was already duty-free. NAFTA also seeks to eliminate non-tariff trade barriers. NAFTA covers the different areas. Those are market access, tariff and non-tariff barriers, rules of origin, government procurement. Second, trade rules, safeguards, subsidies, countervailing and anti-dumping duties, health and safety standards. 3. Services provides for the some safeguards for trade-in services that exist for trade-in goods. Fourth, investment establishes investment rules governing minority interest, portfolio investments, real property, and majority owned or controlled investments from the NAFTA countries. In addition, NAFTA coverage extends to investment made by any company incorporated in NAFTA country, regardless of country of origin. Fifth, intellectual property. Intellectual property. All three countries pledge to provide adequate and effective protection and enforcement of intellectual property rights, while ensuring that enforcement measures do not themselves become barrier to legitimate trade. 6. Dispute settlement provides a dispute settlement process that will be followed instead of countries taking unilateral action against an offending party. A very significant feature of the NAFTA is that while most free trade agreements have provisions only for the trade liberalization, it includes labor standards and environmental standards. The inclusion of the labor standards resulted from the pressure of the labor lobby, which feared that the US and Canada would lose jobs to Mexico as a result of Mexico's cheaper wages, poor working conditions, and lax environmental enforcement. Similarly, the inclusion of the environmental standard resulted from the pressure of the environmental lobby, which pushed for an upgrade of environmental standards in Mexico and the strengthening of the governance. NAFTA has achieved a substantial trade liberalization. The trade between the US and Canada and the US and Mexico is substantial and has been growing. The two-way trading relationship between the United States and Canada is the largest in the world. However, although the Canada-Mexico trade has been increasing fast after the agreement, they are still marginal trading partners with each other. There have been very divergent views on the potential benefits and harmful effects of NAFTA on its members. Many feared that there would be an exodus of jobs to the substantially low wages Mexico from the US and Canada, while the other school maintained that there would be substantial job creation in the US and Canada because of the huge increase in demand for US and Canadian goods and services in Mexico following the trade liberalization. Many Mexicans feared that fierce competition from the US firms would seriously damage the Mexican industry and economy, while many others maintained that liberalization and competition will increase the competitiveness of the Mexican industry. So students, this we learned today about the NAFTA. Thank you and see you in the next session.